Hey everyone, Sam Schaefer here with Sam Schaefer Numismatics, and I have a new video for you guys today, and I'm going to be answering a question I get asked all the time, and that is, how do I know if a coin is valuable? And sometimes folks ask me, how do I know if a coin is rare? Now, usually when they're asking me, how do I know if a coin is rare, what they're really asking is, how do I know if a coin is valuable? So I am going to answer that question and also get into all the different little nuances of why that is the case. And actually, I've broken this question down into three main attributes. Your coin, in order for it to be valuable, must score high in all three of these categories. And in this video, I'm going to show exactly what that means and what those three categories are. I'm going to turn the phone around and explain, first of all, the three categories. So the first one is popularity, and this means the popularity of the series, how many people are collecting it. The second one is condition, and the third one is rarity. In order for a coin to be valuable, it has to score high in all three of these categories. So what does that actually mean? Let's take a look at some real-world examples to illustrate these three categories and why I think, for the most part, this list is infallible for determining that. Now, there is one, I will say, there's one sort of extra that could be added on, and that's precious metal content. And this really pertains more to gold than it does to silver. Any coin that's gold right now is going to have a decent value simply because the gold market is so high. For instance, a $20 gold piece, you know, there's many of those that are actually quite common, but because there's so much metal value in them, they're all really worth more than $1,200 and at current market price. So let's talk about some of the main three, though. I'm going to illustrate the first example. This is a coin. It's actually a token that was issued for House Bill 1046 here in Indiana. It was put out by Lost Dutchman Rare Coins, which is a coin shop that I got my start working for, and they are still around today. Many of you probably know of Lost Dutchman. They're very reputable, very popular coin shop here in Indianapolis. And when House Bill 1046 came out, they had these tokens made and certified by NGC. So these are custom-made tokens, and you can see on the front there's the classic head large cent design, and on the back is the Lost Dutchman business card. And these are pretty neat tokens, and there's a very limited number of them available. I got one at the time because I was an employee, and the others were given out on the day that this was celebrated, which is July 1st of 2016, to those who attended the party that was thrown by the company to welcome the changing sales tax law. So these coins are going to fall under two categories. They are rare. There's not that many of them out there. And they're in extremely nice condition. All of them are gem uncirculated. None of them really should have seen any use unless someone cracked them out of here. So they're high grade and they're rare. But these coins are not particularly valuable. I think the last one that was sold on eBay brought around $50. And that's, you know, not, compared to a lot of coins, that's not very much. It's still somewhat of a value, but for being as nice as they are and as rare as they are, you might think that they would bring more. Well, this coin lacks popularity. Quite frankly, there's just not enough people out there that are interested in exonumia, particularly pertaining to random acts of legislature in Indiana. So unless you're a big fan of the Lost Dutchman, or perhaps you're a fan of Matt Dinger's radio show, the Coin Show Radio, then this coin would just be sort of ho-hum to many collectors out there. So let's look at something else. For instance, let's take a look at a coin that I have in stock right now. It's actually going up on eBay, I think, in a no-reserve auction. And that is this 1855 knob ear braided hair large cent. So this coin was made in 1855, and it is in pretty high grade as far as the details go. There's really no wear on the coin, so it would honestly classify as an uncirculated coin. However, if this were sent into a third-party grading company, it would get a details grade. And that is because this coin has been recolored at some point. You'll notice a mild pebbly porosity on the surface. That's because the coin has been colored with sulfur paste, and it sat on there for a very long time, and it's eaten into the surface of the coin. And, you know, this corrosion could have also occurred simply by the environment, and it's been colored after that. But either way, this is a coin that would be considered a problem coin. However, it is a very rare coin. Knob ear large cents, while they're somewhat available in low grade, they are very rare in high grade. There's only a few mint state examples known. I want to say there's maybe 30 or 40 mint state pieces out there, and I'm kind of guessing at that number, but I think it's going to be in the ballpark. This is one of the series that I'm well familiar with, as I had actually tried tackling a mint state set of these at one point, which was a lot of fun, but it's a difficult undertaking. And this is one of the coins that's very prohibitively expensive in uncirculated condition. So you would think that this coin would certainly be something that's got quite a bit of value. Well, it does have rarity, and it does have popularity. There's a lot of people that like large cents. It's a very popular series. But it scores pretty low on the condition rating. And even though the details are high, with that damage that you see in the background, the pebbliness, and the overall lack of luster on the coin, there's just not a whole lot of collectors that are willing to put this coin in their book. They'd rather settle for a nicer, wholesome example. So that drags down the value quite a bit. It's a coin that I was asking $300 for retail. I think that the eBay auction, it will probably go for less than that. So that's a good example of why you really, really need to have condition. And it's so important not to do anything to your coins that could possibly harm them. Cleaning is a great example that so often just destroys so much of a coin's value. Now for the next example, I am going to show you a coin that most people would be, well, let me use this one actually instead. Here we go. Most people would be pretty well familiar with this coin. This is a Morgan silver dollar. These were issued from 1878 to 1921, and they are sort of considered to be the classic U.S. coin. They're probably one of the most popular sets to assemble, and it is also a very difficult set to complete. But this coin, for example, an 1880S, is a beautiful dollar. It's often collected as a type example because 80Ss are just known to be made so well. They have gorgeous proof-like surfaces most of the time and nice frost all over the features. I mean, this is a coin that I think we can all agree has tremendous eye appeal. And 80Ss, 81Ss, most of them look like that. So this coin scores very high in the condition category, and this coin would surely grade mint state. It may also even receive a PL or a proof-like designation. But the problem with this, and we know it's not popularity, obviously, because Morgans, like I said, are very, very collectible, but it's the rarity. 80S is one of the most common dates of Morgan silver dollars. There were so many bags of these that were discovered in and around the time of the Treasury release in the 1970s and in the 1960s. It's just not a date that really has a big premium for a numismatist wanting to collect it as a something that to complete a date set. You know, they're so easy to find. Virtually any coin shop is going to have an ADS in stock, and if they don't, they will likely get one within a couple weeks because they're just so common to find. So these are really great type examples. If you're just wanting a coin to represent the series, these are great. But because they lack that rarity, they just don't really carry a strong premium. So despite how nice it looks, and most people will say, wow, I mean, you just don't see you just don't see silver dollars like that. You'd think this would be worth a fortune. Unfortunately, a coin like this, because the date isn't very rare, it's probably only a $40 to $60 coin, maybe a little more if it was to grade and receive a proof-like designation. So, depending on how you look at it, though, that could be a good thing if you're looking for a type example and not wanting to spend a lot of money. But nonetheless, I hope that these 3 examples illustrate what it takes in order for a coin to become rare, and just how easy it is for one characteristic to really put a damper on a coin's value. But by the same token, it doesn't take much for something to increase a coin's rarity quite a bit as well. You know, sometimes all it takes is the mint mark. For example, take, for instance, this peace dollar. This is a 1926, and it's a mint state coin. It's pretty nice and attractive, beautiful cartwheels. On the back, there's a few scuffs, but this is a 26 with an S mint mark, which is just down below the 1 there, the word 1. That tiny mint mark can make all the difference. And on this coin, you know, it may add as much as $100 in value. And, you know, this isn't even really the best example. There's others that it can make a tremendous difference. For instance, how about this coin? Another Morgan dollar. But this is an 1887 O mint. So this was made in New Orleans. Now, you can look at these 2 coins and say that, well, I really prefer to have the ADS. It's a lot nicer looking coin. It should be worth more money. The 87O is much rarer to find in this nice of condition. 87Os didn't survive in the uncirculated bags as much as the ADSs did. In fact, 87O, for instance, if this coin is to grade MS65, and this coin may have an off chance as it's pretty clean, although it's probably an MS64, but let's say it grades MS65. This coin suddenly becomes worth around $1,200. All because of that little mint mark right below the wreath. And the ADS, if it grades MS65, it's only worth around $100. Just simply because there's so much more available. So that's a good way to illustrate how the tiniest thing on a coin can make a huge difference in value. Now, if you're somebody watching this video and you have a coin collection that you would like to have evaluated to try and find out if there's anything in your collection that might be quite rare and valuable, that's what I'm here to do. I'm located in central Indiana, and I'm happy to answer any questions, and as well as provide coin appraisals for your accumulations and collections, whatever they may be. I am happy to help. And I hope that this video has answered some questions on the topic of valuable coins. And don't hesitate to send me a message or write in the comments if you have anything in this video that you would like me to elaborate on, or if you would like me to send you a private message, I can do that as well. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I look forward to catching you in the next video.